Hello, Goobers, it's me. So, I don't really want to spoil too many things about my story, so that's why I'm going to do this attempt to just kind of tell you the very, very basic. I did some conceptualizing today for my story, and I came to the conclusion that I would like to do a medieval setting with a big old city. You know, you have four main royal families for all the primordial elements: earth, wind, fire, and water. Water doesn't have their god. She's been missing for a long time, but regardless, they're still a royal family, and their power is still there. Um, so there's that. Maybe I'll do some corruption story. I don't really know. It seems kind of basic, but I'll have to get some ideas flowing. But yeah, basically one big city, all four different elements live. You know, they're all kind of like a Korra situation where everybody has their own elements, whatever they may be. You know, maybe they have different jobs for the different elements that they have. You know, but overall, they all live in a big old city. You've got the four, royal families, and then you've got like one, you know, major important academy based around elemental mastery. Kind of a prestigious school to get into. It's like, oh, you're at that academy? Like, whoa, that's important, man. You know, where the royal kids go to learn shit. Where the people who can afford to go there learn shit. Um, Yeah, your legacy students, the classic shit. You already know all that stuff in real life. But, you know, that kind of vibe. And then, taking inspiration from Disenchanted, I believe is what it's called on Netflix, I want to have a society. So that's the main society that I've just talked to you about. That's going to be the main kind of setting for a little while before I start to expand the greater world outside of that big city. Um, and one of the places I would like to expand upon, and hopefully bring some importance to, is steampunk. So, what I really enjoy the idea and concept of is having a medieval or futuristic technology isn't normal technology, it's just steampunk, right? I really like that. And I just vaguely remember watching Disenchanted like a few years ago, and I kind of just remembered the idea of like, oh, yeah, they did medieval kind of magical fantasy, and they also had a future tech, which was just steampunk level technology. And I thought, to myself, I really like that. And so I'm going to try to incorporate that idea. And I'm totally going to have like a steampunk society. And what works too is like if you just take a few seconds to think about it, all four elements very harmoniously work in that kind of environment. You could almost imagine that being the next stage of society, you know? In an alternate reality, with all the elements and all that stuff, I could totally see that, right? However, for my story to work, it is important that electricity gets discovered and gravity is understood. Um, Thank you for watching any of my videos. So, a little spoiler later in the story, there's going to be two more elements introduced. So, you have the primordial four: earth, wind, water, and fire. Later on into the story, you know, the human mind advances and society advances towards electricity. We all know the light bulb changed everything, all right? As well as the discovery of gravity. I think that throughout human evolution, fire was very important, water was very important, air was very important, and earth was very important, right? We need water and air to survive. Without it, we would be dead, right? Our bodies need water, our bodies need air. It's important resources for us. The discovery of fire and harnessing fire was integral to the advancement of health and safety, as well as heat to survive the brutal, brutal colds that I'm sure ancient civilization had to endure. Winters, you know, really anything that was cold. I mean, back then, I imagine every season was probably difficult for its own reasons. but harnessing fire was very important. And obviously, earth, right? The very soil we walk on, the very rocks we used to forge the very first tools, it's important. Nature is important, it's integral. So, those four things are super integral. In our modern day, I would argue there's two more elements that are just as integral: electricity and gravity. Those two elements to me are essential, just as the primordial four were. I think in a future kind of setting, electricity has really, I mean, it has changed everything. It has taken our world to a digital age, even, right? Now, that's not going to happen in my story, but electricity will be surely invented at some point. And gravity. I mean, gravity has been so very important to us in understanding everything outside of our world, right? Outside of just Earth. Now, gravity helps us with so much, and it's a part of our daily lives too. Without gravity, I'd tell you what, we wouldn't really be where we are right now, would we? We wouldn't. And it's just true. That's just the truth, right? We wouldn't be where we are now. And gravity's always been with us. You could argue, you know, way back in the day, because it's true. But understanding gravity has been a more recent thing, which is why that element is not a part of like a fifth primordial element, but rather you just have the main four and the new two. Where's my little lore drop, on that? But yeah, basically that's to say like I came up with the idea of the environment I want to set my story in, and I'm really happy with this idea, so I'm probably gonna stick with it. And I really, like I said, I love the steampunk society, so I'm gonna totally have one of those as well. And maybe I'll have some more updates for y'all in the future to come. But for right now, that is what I want to tell you guys about. And I hope you enjoyed my secret lore drop on what my next two elements are going to be later in the story. Spoiler warning, I do apologize to those who may care, but you know, it's like reading a manga and watching the anime release. You've got something to look forward to. So, peace out, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. Uh, be safe out there in the abyss, my fellow dwellers. It is dangerous, but rewarding. Good night, and good luck.